Brianna Hargrove was waving a red flag for reading problems at 8 months old. That's when her mother found out Brianna was hearing impaired.
Brianna was born prematurely, so they took a hearing test at birth, and she passed the test. So we did a follow-up when she was about 8 or 9 months, and that's when I found out that she had a hearing loss.
From the moment they're born, our kids send us signals about how hard reading may be for them. In the way they speak, the way they listen, the way they respond to us. It's our job as parents to watch for warning signs, like these.
Speech and hearing impairments are of critical concern when children are learning to read because, of course, we teach reading using sound.
Carlotta Gore is meeting with Dr. Julie Washington, a researcher at the University of Michigan.
Will she read easily? No. It's going to be work. It's going to be work for you, it's going to be work for her, and it's going to require the cooperation of a lot of professionals.
Carlotta got help for Brianna right away. The decision was tough, but she decided that Brianna would have surgery to receive a cochlear hearing implant. Then, she took advantage of every available early learning opportunity, from Head Start to summer programs at the university. And she's watched Brianna carefully for problems.
There are a number of possible signs as a child is entering kindergarten that may signal that they're going to have some difficulty in reading. A child who comes to school with a poor vocabulary, who doesn't really seem to comprehend directions, a child who can't follow the classroom routine, a child who doesn't seem to be able to interact with peers. Those are all signs that a child may have difficulty.
If Brianna has difficulty learning her numbers, her letters, and her sounds, or with rhyming, Carlotta would be right to be concerned.
Children who are having difficulty in kindergarten are very likely to still be having difficulty in 3rd grade. So that indicators like being able to recognize all the letters of the alphabet is a strong predictor of reading ability. And so if you have a child who knows half of the letters at the end of kindergarten, I don't think that the appropriate response is he'll learn the other 13 in 1st grade. That's one of those red flags, that a child who is having difficulty even identifying the letters will be a child who is going to have difficulty with the next level.
As a child moves up into 1st and 2nd grade, there are some new things to watch for.
You start seeing some trouble with some of those kids with remembering things that they've learned. And so every time we sit down, it seems like we've never done this before. That's a real red flag, that you have a child who is having difficulty learning. And that child, almost 100% of the time, is going to have trouble with reading.
Once your child's class begins reading, watch carefully. Is your child in the lowest reading group? Does he hate to read aloud? Does he struggle to sound out words? These are all signs that your child might have a real problem learning to read. But how worried should a mom or dad really be when their 6 or 7-year-old is a little behind? What's the big deal?
Early intervention is key. We don't want parents to think that if your child is identified at 9 or 10, that they're doomed, because they're not. There's a lot that we can do at those ages, but the job of the professional, the parent, and the child is made easier by early intervention.
Once you've realized your child is struggling, it's time to look for help. But sometimes that can be hard. Schools can be intimidating, even for parents.